Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Superstar Destroyer. We're going to actually do a sample build for Superstar Destroyer, and I haven't been talking about specific unspoiled by FFG cards yet, primarily because of a little series of videos I did when this Game Trader magazine was kind of early released to retailers, and there's a flyer in here, and you're wondering, hey, how did you get that? Well, you know what? I happen to have it now. I'm in Texas this week, and sure enough, I just went into a game store, and they happen to have one on the shelf, and they gave it to me. And they actually had a bunch of them on the shelf. So these are definitely public. This is the December issue. It's almost February now. This has been public for a long time. So I think I've done my part. When FFG requested I take down my videos, I have been very, very complacent. I mean, the information has been public for months. Everybody knows all the stuff that's in here already. So I'm not really leaking anything. This has been public for a long time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this flyer, and we can look at it a little closer, and I'm going to do a sample build. So one interesting thing in here, before we get into the flyer, they do talk about the release date. If you'll notice at the bottom of this little entry for the Superstar Destroyer, it says scheduled to ship in November 2018, same time as the Imperial Specialists scheduled to ship in November 2018. Now that was not the case, although the Specialists were pushed back to January. The Superstar Destroyer, I've heard some people say February. I don't think there's much of a chance of it actually shipping in February, but who knows? And even cooler is, I've seen well, maybe not cooler, but even more interesting is that I guess Amazon is now saying April. It might be. It might be. So, here's the inside. These are all my photos this time, not from somebody else. We've got our 4 different ship versions. The top 2 can be playable in normal games, and the bottom 2 can be playable in over 400-point games, which is really cool. I think, honestly, the ship as a whole is just screaming out to be played in these giant, massive games. I hope this thing shows up before Dice Tower Con. If you're going to be here in Orlando, I'm thinking I will be going to that. So I'm going to try. And so if it does show up, maybe, I'll do a big, huge game, something like that. And we've got all of our upgrades and titles and all of this stuff on the next page. The other page is like this, where you open it up and it's this huge layout, and that's my hand there. Thing is super massive, and I think that's meant to be this is how big it's really gonna be. It's so much bigger than that Bellator that I have. I'm really just aching to have this thing in my hands. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. But the one I want to talk today about is the Star Dreadnought Assault prototype. What I think I'm going to do, and assuming I do not get shut down by talking about this stuff. I mean, it's public. It's been public for months. If this video gets shut down, then I don't know, man. I just don't know. So let's talk about the Star Dreadnought Assault prototype, because this one is very, very different than the other version that we could potentially use in our normal games. And because we've got our command prototype is the one that we originally had spoiled at only 220 points. This one is 250, so it's a little more expensive. The other thing that's interesting about this one, it's got the red anti-squadron attack dice, red and blue instead of 2 blue, so now it can attack at long range, which is really cool, because now maybe you're more likely to use this one with Krennic, because Krennic is a medium long range attacks. You can reroll red dice. Now you got red dice in your attack pool, and Krennic's one of the new crew that comes with a Superstar Destroyer. So that's a possibility. He could potentially work more with that. We're gonna lose our fleet command, and instead, we're getting some interesting. We're getting double ion cannon, which is kind of cool. We're also getting double offensive retrofit, which is pretty cool. So double ion cannon, double turbo laser, double offensive retrofit, single support team, and triple officer. Really, really nice. We have a lot of blue dice all around too, which means this is a very, very tempting option for blue dice specific attacks. Heavy ion emplacements could be really, really good on here. You have multiple blue dice all over the place. Leading shots could be really good if you don't want to use like Vader. But it's more expensive, so it leaves a lot less room for this. You got a squadron value of 5, so that's really, really super high. Great carrier. Again, the values are about the same. You're still 454 on the other version. You're still 454 here. You can do a lot with it. Now the shields, we got 6, 3, 3, and 2, and that's the same as on the other one. We still have 22 hull, still have the same 6 defense tokens, still have a max speed of 2 with no yaw, so you'll have to do a nav if you want to turn. So how might we build something like this? Well, we certainly, with 2 ion cannons and 2 turbo lasers, we can make it very, very offensive. Now, also, I want to talk about our dice, too, where you have more dice in the front. We've got 5 red instead of 4 red dice in the front, which is really nice. You're still 3 red dice in the front left and front right, and then the auxiliary left and the auxiliary right each have 2 red. The rear arc is exactly the same. The auxiliary left and auxiliary right gain an extra blue, and then the front left and front right, which I believe are the left and right, gain an extra blue as well. So you've got extra dice all around, except for in the rear. So you're actually, if you have 4 total dice extra, 1 front, boom, 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 boom. Nice. I mean, the rear point is still the weak point here, but not because it got worse, but just because everything else got better. So I thought of a couple of different ways. Like, I think having 2 offensive retrofit really means, like, the first thing that jumped out at me is like, oh, carrier, total super good carrier. And that could totally work. That could totally work. Because, like, you did a lot of this type of builds with quasars, right? You've seen the quasar already kind of function as a really good carrier. And there's 2, like, one version of it has 2 offensive retrofit and 1 support team. The other version has 2 support teams and 1 offensive retrofit. I'm sorry, weapons teams, not support teams. Did I say support team before? Whatever. I'm a little excited to actually have this thing in hand now. So, but yes, the guy with the big Death Star gunner, that's a weapons team, not a support team. Regardless, I first thought, hey, let's do squadron heavy build here. We can have this guy be the ultimate support carrier. That's fine. That's doable. But I said, maybe that's a little too obvious. Let's try and do something a little crazy. So this is what I came up with. Now, this is very, very expensive. This is like a 344 point ship right here. It can be changed around a little bit. Piet doesn't really have to be on there because I'm not running a Gazanti with this. It's basically this and 7 ties. And it's 400 points. So, what am I looking at here, right? Like a point defense reroute, re-rolling your crits, and then counter 1 for quad laser turrets. So I'm using basically the 2 offensive retrofits and those are things that can be used with squadron attacks. So I want this thing to have really good anti-squadron capabilities. So I'm using both of the offensive retrofits as the 2 that can help me go against squadrons. Point defense and quad laser. Quad laser is much, much better because you're getting counter 1. So anytime a squadron attacks you, you're attacking back and applying all of your other stuff that, like your Annihilator, the one that Annihilator title, you reroll. Well, let me start from the top and work my way down. So point defense reroutes, we can reroll crits when you're attacking a squadron. You have to be at close range though, so that's when they get close to you. Not the best card in this build because there's other things that want us to take advantage of our long range, but enemy squadrons are going to try to get in close to you eventually, and that's fine. Quad laser turret's awesome. Piet, again, he's not going to be super synergistic here. You'll have to set it up manually on your own, which means like first 2 turns you're going to have to take different commands and stockpile some tokens, and then after the fact, then you can start doing like basically double commands each turn, which will pay off. It's just you don't want to get attacked like turn 2 with Piet. You kind of want to stockpile some tokens, get ready to do some stuff, and then go crazy. Okay. Now we have. I put quad laser turrets on here twice for some reason because I'm crazy. So I'm actually, you wouldn't have quad laser turrets on here twice, but you would have heavy ion emplacements and leading shots. That's what I'm using for the double blue, right? Or the double ion cannon. Heavy ion emplacements, just you're a lot more likely to get the blue crit with 2 blue dice in almost every arc. And if you don't, well, you can always spend 1 to re-roll everything. It's just that built in, and that's every attack. So leading shots also works against squadrons. If you have nothing good, you can always spend a die to reroll. that much is cool. Now here's a cool one. Before I get to the bottom row, because I have quad turbo laser cannons and H9s, and in quad turbo lasers, I mean, there's nothing to stop that from potentially working against a squadron. Also, you know, especially since this has the red die, so you could potentially, you know, roll, you know, a red and a blue. You get a red accuracy, boom, turn it into 2 red accuracies. Now you can't do either your scatter or your brace, and you know, or then maybe we re-roll stuff. It's just cool stuff. So again, it's we've got Annihilator, we've got re-rolls. H9 can help us turn, if we get a crit, we can turn that. If we get a red crit, we can turn that into an accuracy, add an extra accuracy, re-roll one with Annihilator, re-roll, you know, leading shots. There's all kinds of really interesting synergy with something like this. Callus, obviously extra die, no problem there. We might want to add red dice with Callus because Krennic is on here. And if we have Concentrate Fire, again, we can spend that. If we're going up against that ace, maybe there's like a Jendon or a Merrick Steel. Probably more Merrick. Go after Merrick Steel first, right? You got somebody like Merrick Steel out there. Oh, I'm going to add red dice. I need more red dice. Boom, boom. Oh, now Krennic, you know, right? Add an extra red die. Callus, extra red die. Krennic, or you know, Concentrate Fire for the extra red die rather, and then reroll all of our red dice after we've added an extra red die with quad turbo laser turrets, or quad turbo laser cannons. Palpatine is really on there because he also deals with squadrons, but he's just good all around. I mean, H9 and quads can be good all around. Also, so are HIEs are really only good against ships because obviously you have to be able to kill ships too. But you're also going to have 7 ties, and Ruthless Strategist is what I'm using for the weapons team. I understand that that's, you know, less than perfect because, you know, gunnery team's probably the better option, right? Especially with that massive front arc. But I just wanted to see, like, how could I maximize a build to be anti-squadron? And this one I think is a pretty strong anti-squadron. I think I went over the top with this because I think we could very easily dial this back a little bit and fit either more squadrons in there, or also put a Gazanti in there, or maybe swap out Piet for Sloane if we're gonna have 7 TIE fighters. You know, Sloane might be worthwhile. We can activate 6 TIE fighters with just this. You know, so it's like we can activate an awful lot. This is just a build that I came up with. It seems like a fun little build, but not super serious. It's just kind of showing you, like, I think just some of the crazy shenanigans you'll be able to have with this. We could dial this back a bunch more, add a Gazanti also. We don't have to go with everything that's on here. But there's a lot of really cool little options and things that you can put together by using some of these cards. I'm probably going to, you know, talk about each of the different variants and different ways that I might use them, and kind of break it down like one card at a time, focusing on maybe one individual thing that's been spoiled. In the lack of Armada news, I'll probably be doing this over the next couple of weeks, and you know, kind of see how that goes and get you guys feedback on it. But let me know what you guys think. Do you, you know, have you picked up a Game Trader Mag? Go to your game store, see if you can get a copy of the December Game Trader magazine. I mean, there's other cool stuff in here too. You know, check them out. All right, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Still plenty of time to enter to win that lightsaber giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment. Let me know what your ideal way to run a Super Star Destroyer might be. Like, let me know if you think you're going to just try to fit it in a standard 400-point game. You're going to try to run it with, like, maybe, you know, you could run it with an ISD. You'd really be scraping the barrel as far, you know, but like, you're going to try and run it with another big ship, or you're going to try and run it with some small ships, or by itself, or maybe custom games, larger games, 600-point games, 1,000-point games. Whatever. I am going to try to, we won't have it by the Super Bowl, but I'm going to try to run some really big, custom, awesome scenarios. Super Star Destroyer versus Deep Space Nine. Man, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this thing to come out. All right, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.